Hello, boring vlog people. How are you this fine day? Me? I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. I just did something awesome. Something that I had been wanting to do since I moved up here into this condo, which is fix the frickin' toilet. It is so annoying. Oh my god. Okay, so when you flush it, it flushes, everything works fine. But when it fills itself back up, the little flapper thing doesn't drop down, so it just keeps running and running and running and running and running. It runs for like over 10 minutes. I never timed it. I should have timed it before I fixed it. But it was the most annoying thing. You'd have to like take the top off of it, hit the little flapper so it would fall down in order for it to not flush for forever. And so I was so sick and tired of it, I went to Lowe's tonight, and I was like, I'm just going to go there and like ask the guy what I might need. So I go in, the guy's like, oh, here, take this $5, just the flapper piece, and that should fix it. And I was like, it's $5 for this, or $20 for the whole assembly. I'll just get the whole assembly and I'll fix it. So I went and I got that, went home, took the whole thing apart, emptied all the water out, went good. So then I've read the instructions, which is something it's like, really, do you need to read the instructions? I'm like, there's a lot of water here. I'm going to make sure I follow these instructions. I don't normally follow instructions. It's sort of a waste of time. It's easy enough to figure out. And honestly, I didn't really need them because I just took it apart and it was like the exact same thing, just slightly different. So I didn't really need instructions, but I followed them anyway because I didn't want to mess it up. So I followed all the instructions, put it all back together again, turned the water back on, filled it up, flushed it, and water went frickin' everywhere. Oh my god, water exploded out of the side of this thing, all over the floor. I only had one little towel in there. I threw that on the floor, ran into my room to grab 2 more towels really quick to throw on the ground, and quickly oh my god, it was a disaster. I mean, luckily the floors are tile and everything was sealed fine, so it didn't matter. I just had to wipe up all the water off the floor. It didn't seep into anything or mess anything up, which is fine. So at least like that wasn't that bad. So I didn't have to worry about that too much. So then, luckily only like half the water had gone out of the tank. It wasn't like the entire flush, which was good. So I turned the water off really quick, grabbed a bucket, emptied the rest of the water, took the whole thing apart, looked at it, and I was like, what is wrong? Like, the only thing I did differently was I put 2 little rubber washers on that I was like, this is just going to help seal it better. But then I was like, oh, wow. What if those were the 2 things that spaced this out just enough to where, like, it didn't make a good connection to the toilet bowl, so when I flushed it, there was, like, just enough space for the water to fly out the sides of it, because I knew where the water was coming from. So I was like, okay, I'll do exactly what it says this time. I'll put it back together without those little rubber spacers, and hopefully it'll work. So I put it all back together again without those spacers, tighten everything, turn the water on, flush it. This time I had my hand like in the bowl ready to push down the little flapper thing just in case it started coming out the sides. So I flush it, and sure enough, bam, water everywhere again. I was like, no! So I pushed down the flapper and stop it. But then, so then I'm like, okay, what could possibly be wrong? Like, there's this new rubber thing that I put on there that seemed like it was smaller than the old one. So I was like, I'm going to look at this old one. The old one is it's like thicker, it's rounder, it's just like, it looked like it would make a better connection. So I'm like, alright, I'm going to take this thing apart, and I'm going to put the old rubber, like, sealer thing on it from the toilet bowl, from the toilet, like, filler reservoir to the bowl that seals that. I'm going to use the old one. So I did that, put that piece back on there, put it all back together again, turned the knob, filled it with water. I got my roommate just so he could see it this time if it all went everywhere and he could laugh at me. So I get it all ready, I flush it, and it worked! It worked! Oh, it was amazing! And it fills back up in like 20 seconds, and it's way quieter than the old one, and it's amazing. Best $20 I've ever spent in my life. Not only did it teach me how to fix a toilet, which is awesome. Like, I love learning how to do new things. Like, I feel like anybody that ever needs to fix a toilet from now on, I'm just going to say, hey, I'll do it for you. Like, I've done it before. I know how to do it. By all means, let me help you do it. Like, I'm awesome at it now. I totally know what not to do the first 2 times before I do it right. Like, I could totally be a plumber now. Just give me lots of towels and 3 tries to do it right. But, yeah, so, it was so cool. I love learning new stuff like that. But, yeah, so now I know how to fix a toilet if it's running for a long time, or just anything. If anything in the inside's wrong, I know how to take it apart, fix everything, put it all back together again, and make it work. So that's awesome. But yeah, so now the toilet works. I'm happy. I won't have to flush it in the middle of the night and listen to it running for 10 minutes thinking it's about to overflow. because that always freaks me out. I'm like, oh, is it gonna stop? It's not stopping. Why isn't it stopping? Why isn't it stopping? So it freaks me out a little bit. But yeah, so that was my awesome moment of the day. Fixing that toilet made me feel like I'm a real man fixing some stuff. That's always fun. That man moment where you're like, yeah, I'll just fix some stuff. Yeah, drink a beer. I mean, I don't drink, but that's what you think. Like, oh, beer. Oh man, the man. Oh, we'll go beat somebody up and drink a beer. Oh, blah 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 blah. But yeah, so that was awesome. And then I washed my hands thoroughly from getting. I guess it's just regular water. It's not like it's toilet water necessarily. Washed my hands and then went and got me some Burger King with my hot fudge sundae that's melting while I'm sitting here talking to you guys. So I think I'm gonna end this so I can go put my hot fudge sundae in the fridge so it won't melt anymore before I eat it, before I enjoy it. So yeah, hopefully you guys had a good day, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. So long.